On a hill far away stood an old rugged cross, dead emblem of suffering and shame. And I love that old cross where the dearest and best for a word of lost sinners was slain. So I'll cherish the old rugged cross till my trophies at last I lay down. I will cling to the old rugged cross, in exchanging someday for a crown. Oh, that old rugged cross, so despised by the world, has a wonder attraction for me. For the dear Lamb of God left His glory above to bear it to dark Calvary. So I cherish the old rugged cross till my trophies at last I lay down. I will cling to the old rugged cross, in exchanging someday for a crown. In that old rugged cross, stained with blood so divine, a wondrous beauty I see. For 'twas on that old cross Jesus suffered and died to pardon and sanctify me. So I'll cherish the old rugged cross till my trophies at last I lay down. I will cling to the old rugged cross, in exchanging someday for a crown. To that old rugged cross I will ever be true, its shame and reproach gladly bear. Then you call me someday to my home far away, where His glory forever I'll share. So I'll cherish the old rugged cross till my trophies at last I lay down. I will cling to the old rugged cross, in exchanging someday for a crown. I will cling to the old rugged cross, in exchange is located in the Gospel of John, chapter 12. Then 6 days before the Passover, Jesus came to Bethany, where Lazarus was who had been dead, whom he had raised from the dead. There they made him a supper, and Martha served, but Lazarus was one of those who sat at the table with him. Then Mary took a pound of a very costly oil of spikenard, anointed the feet of Jesus, and wiped his feet with her hair. And the house was filled with the fragrance of the oil. Then one of his disciples, Judas Iscariot, Simon's son, who would betray him, said, "Why was this fragrant oil not sold for 300 denarii and given to the poor?" This he said, not that he cared for the poor, but because he was a thief and had the money box, and he used to take what was put in it. Then Jesus said, "Let her alone. She has kept this for the day of my burial. For the poor you have with you always, but me you do not have always." Amen? Amen. My brothers, this passage here and this hymn that we praise is something incredible, because it is a testimony. When we're singing this, it's a prayer that we're making. It's a prayer for God, saying that we're going one day, if we take that cross, you are going to be able to exchange it for a crown. But everyone knows that the crown symbolizes what? It symbolizes a victory. It's power. A crown for a king, for those that deserve, is a treasure made of gold usually. And it's saying in the hymnal that if I have that cross, I will exchange it for a crown. But if we start to think, when you exchange something, you have to give something to receive something. It's a trade. You're exchanging. So how are you going to get the crown? How are you going to get the victory? If you don't have the cross, if you're not holding the cross with you, you're not going to be able to exchange for the crown, because you don't have the cross. And that is why he brings us here to carry the cross, Jesus, the Spirit of God within us. So in the last day, we have the victory. We're going to be able to exchange and obtain the victory and obtain a crown. But tonight is a service of deliverance. And everyone that God brings here, including me, everyone, there's no exception, is because we need to remind ourselves. And every day we need to get that cross. Because Jesus is not going to put the cross on your hand. I am the one who has to take it. I am the one who has to ask for him. I want to be by your side, because he's holding the cross. And he's given me the opportunity to hold with him, to be with him, and to go and have a victory, have the crown just like he has the same crown. But I have to go to him because he's given me the opportunity. Don't think that you're going to wake up and you have the cross, you have Jesus. If you don't go to him and every day confirm, Jesus, I want to walk by your side. I want to have that cross with me today. Then you're not going to have. It's a decision that we have to make every single day. That's why we have services every week, different days. Because if it was something that is permanent, a permanent decision, then we were only going to have it once. There was no need for church or anything. But why God created the church and created different services, it's because for us to walk with that Jesus, to have that crown that everyone wants, the victory, we need to have commitment, and it is a reinforcement that we have to practice in our lives. We need to reinforce and confirm our faith. That is why here in our church, we don't baptize if you're younger than 12 years old. But why? The parents present the children to the Lord. And the children, he's going to grow older, or she, and he's going to be aware that he or she was presented. And then when he or she turns 12, they're going to confirm and they're going to be baptized. Because it's your choice. It's your choice. You have to decide for yourself. And with the spiritual things, for us it's the same thing. You have to decide. You have to decide. And the problem is that the people that is involved in the Christianity and is involved in the spiritual things, they forget that it is a decision that you have to create, that you have to decide daily. And this passage brought my attention because they were there in the Bethany, and Martha, Lazarus, and Mary, they were there. They were with Jesus. They were in the presence of a God. And Mary took that action. She picked up what it was most important for her, the most valuable gift that she had, that oil, that fragrance, that perfume that she had, and she deposited everything. She gave all that she had for Jesus in that moment. And the other disciples, like Judas, he said to her, "Look, you are crazy. Why didn't you sell this? Why didn't you get any money for this?" But Jesus said in the verse 7, "Let her alone, because you can sell, you can do your life, you can do whatever you want other days, but while I'm here, take advantage. Confirm your faith. Be by my side." Because it's a special moment, and the reason why I brought this passage is because tonight in the service is the same thing. We think that is normal, just like 99% of the world, they come to God and then afterwards they think that is normal. But Mary here, she never thought that it was normal. That's why she was always giving her best. She was always trying to take another step, to go beyond. And that is why she used that oil, that precious and that expensive oil, to deposit on Jesus' feet, to show him that she wanted to go beyond, that she was giving all that she had, and that she wanted to reinforce her faith. She wanted to reinforce her faith, to teach us nowadays that we should, the same manner, we should deposit what we have. Not your money, not what you have materially, but what you have in your interior. You should do the same thing. I should do the same thing, just like Mary. And that is why the Church of God has given us the opportunity to come to the service. Is to reinforce and to show God that we want to take another step. And that is why it's so important, my brothers, that we have a commitment and that we put ourselves in a position before that God. Because these disciples here, they did things for Jesus as well. They deposited things in Jesus' feet as well, but it became common for them afterwards. It became something normal. And they stopped to do the things that they did in the past. But Mary, no, for Mary, the moment that she was with Jesus, it was always something sacred. It was always something special. That's why she brought something special from her to give to Jesus. And the message, the key point of tonight, my brothers, is that make every service a special service for you. Let's look to Jesus. Let's look to these moments here that we have. Just like the first time that we enter the house of God, because otherwise it will become something normal for you. It will become something normal for me. And at the moment that it becomes something normal, mundane from this world, then it has no power anymore. It has no power. And we can see here the example of what Jesus said in verse 8. "For the poor you have with you always, but me you do not have always." So how many things we can do outside. How many opportunities we have, invitations. But for this moment here, for the moment with God, It's not 24/7. It's not all the time. It's a special moment. So he's talking to us. Know where you're putting your credit. Where are you depositing your credit? Where are you putting your time, your effort? And this is the hardest thing, because nowadays is the opposite. No one wants to give the credit, all their credit to Jesus. They give the credit to the world. They go and they give their time to important people outside. But for God, when they come to God, they already spend. They come tired. They sleep. Sometimes in the service. I don't know. It's just like that passage here. Because you gave your youth, you gave your time, your power outside. And now when you come here, you don't have nothing to offer to God. And then you're going to come, you're going to sleep, and you're not going to understand anything. And it's like you did not come. It's worth nothing. But look at Mary. She could sell this. She could say, I'm going to keep this, I'm going to sell to other people. But she kept it for a special occasion. She kept for a special occasion. And when Jesus came, she had it to give to him. And with us, it's the same thing. Don't waste your special gifts, your life, your time, your awareness, your reasoning outside. And when you come here, what do you have to give? If you're tired, if you just want to go home. I don't know, I'm trying to make an analogy. Because this is what the Spirit of God touched my heart tonight. It's not about only coming. It's not about only being in the presence of Jesus. It's about giving our best to him. Seeking him. Because here Lazarus was there. Martha was there. Judas was there. But what was the point? They did not extract anything from that moment. But only Mary had a moment of communion with Jesus, because she knew that moment was special. And she kept the oil, the most important oil that she had, the fragrance, to give to him. And tonight is the same thing. When you come here, give your oil, give your fragrance, give your prayer. Don't just come just like Lazarus and Martha and all the other people and Judas. But let's be like Mary in this moment. She deposited everything that she had. And she did not look to other people, to Lazarus, to Martha. She did not care if, are they going to give something, they're going to do something. No. So if who's by your side is leaping or don't care, I don't know, I'm giving an example. Don't look to who's by your side, look to you. Because if God brought you here, if God brought me here, it's because he knows my future, he knows my tomorrow. And he wants me to be able to exchange my cross for a crown. But I'm only going to be able to exchange if I decide to walk with him day by day. So you see, my brothers, it comes to a point where there's nothing that the church can do. There's nothing that no one can do. It's you and God. When I understand that I have to give my best, that I have to provide my best, and that I have to seek him over everything else. And when I do that, he's going to reveal himself to me in a different way, just like he did for Mary. And we see here other passages with Mary, the way that Jesus revealed himself to her after he was crucified. And she was the only one that had a moment with Jesus where no one else had. Jesus came to her and spoke to her in that tomb where he was buried. And he came and spoke to her before every single one, to give her comfort, to show her that she was not alone, to show her that she could continue following her life and that he was going to be by her side. And for us, it's the same thing. It's the same thing. He wants to do the same thing, but it's going to now depend on me and how much I want to provide what is within me. It is like a fraction. You have 4/4. It is like a fraction 4/4. But if you come here, you only give 1/4 of what you have, then you're not going to be able to extract the 100% that God provided for every single one of us. And that my brothers, is not for only these moments, not only for our days, it's for our entire life, our entire life. Because when Jesus brings us here, when the Spirit of God brings us here, it's because He wants, just like I was saying in the beginning of the service, He knows what is going to happen with our tomorrow. And I remember the first time I came to the church, I had no idea that the problems that were going to come to my life. And I can only imagine if God did not bring me to the church in that day, where I was going to be, I don't even know. Probably my life will be completely destroyed. But thank God, one day He brought me, and He's bringing me, and He's bringing all of us, because He wants to be our counselor and our comforter in the good days and the bad days. It doesn't matter. So give your best to the God. He doesn't want our money. He doesn't want anything. He wants our sacrifice. He wants our interior. And here, look at the behavior of Mary. Brought me a lot of attention, because we don't know if she was rich, if she had a good condition, probably not. But look at, she picked up the most precious thing and shared with Jesus. And we need to do the same thing with our lives, with our times. Do not hesitate to give your best, to give your time, to come to the service, to participate. Because it is going to be worth it, just like it was for her. It's going to be worth it. Because at the end of the day, Jesus says, it is not about who's walking by my side, but it's about who wants to be by my side. So don't make a trade relationship. Don't come here only to obtain something, but come here to feel the presence of God and to have a communion with God and to put His kingdom in the first place. And He says that the one that put His kingdom in the first place, everything else will follow. So it depends on us. And tonight I felt a desire to speak about a reinforcement. Let's reinforce what we have with God. Because it's not something daily, it's not something permanent. It's a decision that we have to confirm day after day. Amen? Amen. A round of applause for Jesus. Chama a diaconisa ali para